Hey everybody, Angie here with I Feel the Rush here in Brillion, Wisconsin, coming to you live again every Thursday night around 8 p.m. Central. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I like to bring to you new projects, new ideas on making memory decor, how to bring the outdoors inside. Because if you're like me, I spend most of my time outside, but there are days that I must stay in, and I like to bring a lot of memories and experiences inside and surround our family with those things so we can embrace those moments and relive them time and time again. So, as I mentioned, we're usually here Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central, so be sure to join us each and every week because I'm always coming up with awesome ideas from you guys. You have provided suggestions. I've got projects that I just have always wanted to try, and tonight, my friends, is another one of those nights. Every week I say this. I couldn't wait to show you this project, but this truly, truly is one of my favorites that I've always wanted to try. And building this community with you guys has been fantastic because it's been an awesome opportunity for me to try things that I really, under normal circumstances, would not have a reason to try. But I love showing these things to you guys because I sure hope that it's offering some inspiration on using your antlers, feathers, and hides, or just going out and buying some if you didn't have any, and trying some of these ideas, because a lot of times when you see these items, maybe on Etsy or online, they're very expensive. But when you do it yourself, it is not expensive at all, and you can do it because, trust me, when I say a lot of these projects, I'm whipping up maybe a half hour or an hour before our time together. So please trust me when I say these are not tricky projects. I am no professional when it comes to any of these things. I'm trying them for the first time for you guys, and so I like to provide the pros and the cons and what worked good and what didn't, and I love to start conversation going about these things. So please, please share so that you can review it again another day, or share it with your friends and family so that they might find some inspiration as well. So today, what I'm going to show you is how you can use hide. This is cow hide, but you can use deer hide, moose, buffalo, whatever it is you have around the house, and you can reface a desk or other cabinetry you might have. So again, it's something that I've seen quite a few times, and I'm going to walk you through the process and the supplies that I used, and explain to you how super, super simple this was to reface a super old desk that we had just laying around, and make it awesome. So let's get started. So as you can see here, I'm using tonight some cowhide. It is tanned cowhide, and I actually got this one from IKEA, of all places. Erica, my friends and family in Sweden, IKEA. So it is an awesome place where you can get something like this. This is a super huge piece. I'm going to say maybe 3 feet by 5 feet. I got it in their clearance area for $80. So believe me, when you're done with this project or you see what I've done, you would probably pay $1,000 for this desk, but you're going to be able to make it for less than $100 with an old desk that you can get on Craigslist, maybe free. So for around $100, you're going to be able to do this yourself. So again, tonight I'm using cowhide, but you can use whatever you like. I've done dressers with deer hide. I'd like to do some with moose and buffalo, but tonight this is the hide of choice. Mostly because when you see what I'm using it for, this has a nice short length of the hairs, where some of the other furs and hides might have longer hair, which is totally cool. You might want that look for the front of your desk, but just showing this as an example because it's got a shorter hide. So as you can see, it's tanned. I've mentioned that. You can even get these from tanneries in your area. So super, sky is the limit. Don't be limited to cowhide. This is just what I'm using for this project. Go crazy and use lots of other furs. I'm going to try some other ones, and I'll be sure to show you those as well. But, so that's the first thing. Cowhide. You're going to need a hammer. I recommend some E6000. Whoops, E6000. Some miscellaneous things. Rulers, scissors, an X-Acto knife. You'll need one of these for cutting the hide. And maybe some little, why can't I think of the name of this? You know what this is. My brain isn't suiting me right now. Little clamp. That's what it is, little clamp. Okay, so I'm going to move out of the way so I can show you first, and then I'm going to explain the process. All right, so what we have here is, I left some the way that it was just so you could see as an example, and I'll kind of turn it, excuse all the things in the background. You can kind of see those drawers are not finished. This middle one I left as unfinished so that you could see what we were dealing with beforehand. So this is what it looked like. You can see how scratchy it was. This was an old desk. So I really love the desk. I like to do my business things on here. We like to do homework and such. So basically what I started with, I took the glass top off and I took some stain that I had just laying around. I did not spend a bunch of money on new stain. I'm sure most of you homeowners have a little bottle of stain laying around. And first I stained all the way around the edges because you don't have to stain the front. That's going to be covered by hide. I didn't sand it. I didn't do anything. Just wipe it down before you stain it. Take a little stain and then do all of your edges. Do in between here. You know, do all the little nooks and crannies. But again, it doesn't have to be super spectacular either because this is just meant to be a quick project. It doesn't have to be super long. So that's the first thing. Stain it. I stained the top. I stained around all of the edges. I stained the inside. Again, super easy. It's just giving it kind of a touch up. I'm not worried about how well the color matches or anything like that because it's an old desk. I'm just trying to give it a little new life. So then I'm going to move you over here. Sorry. I'm going to move over here. I'm trying to get the visual right here. Right here you're going to see a finished drawer. So what I did was I measured the outside of this rectangular spot and then I took my hide and flipped it upside down, and using my ruler and a pen, I cut out a chunk that was exactly the same size as this front of the drawer. Then what I did was I took some E6000, put it on the back of the hide, and then applied it to the drawer. Now I did take the drawer out, and I'll show you this one as an example. Whoops, I can get it out of the way. I took the drawer out and stood it up straight like this. Now this one is not finished, so I was trying to give you a visual of all the different stages. I stood it up like this. I put E6000 underneath my hide, and then I clamped it down. So that's the second step. Now I did that this morning before I went to work, so I let that sit all day, and that way when I took the clamps off, it's staying on well enough. Now I'm also going to have these little metal nails in here. I don't actually know what you call those. They're like furniture nails, I think. That's actually going to hold this all on in the end, so you don't have to worry too much about making sure that E6000 is on covering the whole entire thing. I did more like spot glues because I knew that we were going to be adding those nails on after the top. Okay, so the fur or the hide is on. You're going to have to remember you're going to be taking all of these components off before you put your fur on. So you take off all of your hardware, and then you're applying your fur, and then when you put your fur on, what you might notice is to get those appliances back on, from the back side, you're going to want to put something pointy in there, like a screwdriver or something like that, to mark where you're going to be placing a hole in the hide. Because in order to get this stuff back on here, you're going to have to put a tiny hole in the hide, and it's super simple because this fur is, you know, it's already tanned, but it's pretty pliable. So you can cut it using the X-Acto knife and then get your fronts back on here. So once I had the fur on, I've got the front of my little handles back on. I did start to apply these little furniture nails here, and what I'm planning on doing is maybe running them all the way across, but I'm not sure. I kind of like the look of it now, the way that it is with these particular handles. Maybe if you had a smaller handle, you could run them all the way down the sides, but I kind of like the four, so I might not overdo it with those little nails, and I might just keep them in the corners, because that way it kind of gives you a little bit more of the hide look. And again, it's kind of dangly, it kind of hangs down a little bit, and I like that. I like that really natural look. So then what I did, as you can see, now this one isn't tacked all the way down, but as you can see that hide. So what you can do is take some brown paint or whatever color matches your hide that you're using. Paint along the edges so that that is dark again, except where it's white. Where it's white, I'm not going to do anything with that tanned hide on the back. I'm just going to leave it white. But as you can see on this one, now you see the stuff inside my drawer. It's all crafting materials. You paint it along the edge and it darkens it so that way it just blends a little bit better. So as you can see, there's quite a variety of, of patterns. Depending on your fur, you're going to want to make sure and use a little bit more of the part that has some personality. That's why I selected this for my top drawer. And because I've bought this whole huge piece, I'm thinking about also making a seat for the desk. So a couple things to mention is, as far as materials, most of these things are all things that you're going to have around the house. Other than those little grommet things, you probably have the stain, the knives, the scissors, all of that kind of stuff. The only thing you need is this and some glue. And again, maybe check around. I used E6000, but honestly, fabric glue, because you're also going to be tacking it down, it's less about the application holding. It's more about the temporary holding so that you can get those little grommet things in there. So again, I love the idea of utilizing the furs and the hides. Maybe it's a hide from a doe that you harvested or a moose or something that you didn't mount. This is just another way that you can utilize those hides instead of throwing them away. Because like we've said, it's not only just about bringing those memories in, but it's all about utilizing the harvests as well. So get creative. I'm super pumped about this idea. Another thing that I have seen is maybe refinishing the front. And then instead of glass, people actually use those hides to refinish the top of the desk. Now this one has a glass, so I could theoretically do that and then still use it. But I've seen it on tables, on chairs, on couches, you name it, and I've seen it, resurfaced with fur. So I love this. I'm super excited about the idea of utilizing one of my doe hides that I hope to harvest this year. To do something like this on another desk. For some reason, I don't know if you guys are the same, but we have tons of desks around the house, and I'm always looking for new ways to refurbish them, reuse them, instead of getting rid of them, because we always find a purpose for those desks and filling the drawers. And again, it's just another way to surround yourself with those memories, because if you're like us, we spend so much time out in the woods and we love it, but you do have to be inside sometimes doing work and school and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to be able to surround ourselves with memory decor, like we've said. So do you like this idea? Please tell me. Let me know in the comments if this is something you like, you maybe want to see more of, or maybe you have a suggestion. If you have an armoire, if you have dressers, it's not just limited to desks. You could put the fur on the front of any kind of drawers. You could do a whole bedroom set. You might have a dresser set like in the dining room or something like that with a china hutch, something like that. So get creative. Let those creative juices flow. Please let me know if you like this idea in the comments. Let me know if you have a suggestion of other furniture you'd like to see resurfaced using hides and furs, because I would love to try more projects, and I love to share that with you guys. I love the community that you guys bring to this and have created, and I love chatting with you about these different projects and getting your thoughts. So please reach out to me. Let me know what you think. What other kind of maybe hides or furs would you like to see me try? Because I love to try different things for you guys, depending on what things you have laying around the house. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Again, I just appreciate every single one of you that checks in here, whether it's live or afterwards. But I hope you enjoy the inspiration, the ideas, and I hope to hear from you soon. Again, join me next Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, for more ideas on memory decor. Thank you very much. Have a good night.